Welcome back to Heat of the Drum. My name is Steve. Not too long ago, I did an 18-pound brisket overnight in this drum smoker, and it turned out really good. I'll link that video at the end of this one for you guys if you haven't seen it. But if you find yourself in a similar situation where you got some leftover brisket and you're wondering, what can I do with it? Here's an idea for you. Some smoked brisket mac and cheese. So we got a 16-ounce box of elbow macaroni, and that's the first thing we got to do is get that boiling. Going to add some salt into that water. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes for that pasta, and let's get this drum fired up. And what I have here is just some cowboy oak and hickory blend lump mixed with a little Kingsford. And today we're going to throw in some applewood chunks. My favorite part of the day. Just hit 5 minutes. I'm going to give this another stir. And we just want to cook these al dente. So going to give this about 1 more minute. This looks really good here. Pasta's done. I'm just going to let it drain. So about an hour ago, I fried up 1 pound of bacon, and I reserved the bacon grease. And I got this cast iron nice and hot right now. What I'm going to do is just add a couple tablespoons of that bacon grease in that cast iron like that. And to that, what I have here is a 1/2 cup of Panko breadcrumbs. Let's get those in there. And let's spread those around and get that to absorb that bacon grease. And we just want to brown these up a little bit. And you want to keep an eye on these because it will not take long. That's looking really good to me. Let's get these off. And we'll set that to the side. I'm just going to come in here and wipe this out. I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Get that in here. Let's make a roux. To that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. And let that start to cook off. Looks good right there. To that, we are going to add 16 ounces of heavy cream. And just start stirring that in. Actually going to switch over to a whisk. Get this nice and incorporated. And that'll start to thicken up on you. To that, we're going to add 1 block of cream cheese. Let's get that melted in there. I also have a 1/4 cup of just 2% milk. Before we get our cheeses in there, let's get our seasonings in. I got a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground mustard, 3/4 teaspoon of pepper, and 3/4 teaspoon of onion powder. Let's get all that goodness in there. Now let's talk cheese. What I have here is 8 ounces of Gouda. Freshly shredded. Next up, 16 ounces of sharp white cheddar cheese. Freshly shredded. And we'll just work on getting this melted in there. And let's talk sodium citrate. Sodium citrate is going to help these cheeses, basically the fats not separate from the proteins and become an oily mess on us. And it's going to keep it nice and gooey. So what I have here is 15 grams. You absolutely do not need to have that in there, but I think it will definitely add. And this is good to go. I'm going to shut off the heat. So now I'm going to take this big bowl and I'm going to add all that pasta that we boiled earlier. See if I can get that to drop in there. There it is. See if we can loosen that up a little bit. And what I have here is just 2 diced jalapenos. I like to bring a little spice. And here's our brisket. Now what I have here is just 2 cups that I've kind of chopped up into 1/4 by 1/2 inch pieces. 2 cups worth. Let's get this all incorporated. Looks good to me. And now comes the fun part. We're going to get this cheese poured all over our jalapeno brisket noodle mix. Here we go. Look at that. And I don't want to leave any out. And let's get this mixed up. And once you get it all mixed up, guess what? It's going right back in this cast iron. We'll just smooth it out. And this is ready for the smoker. Here we go. The brisket mac and cheese is on. Let's talk drum smoker temp. 275, give or take, right around in that range. And what I'm going to do is set this timer for 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, we'll move on to our next step. See you soon. About to hit that 30-minute mark and get our first look at this brisket mac and cheese. Here we go. So what we're going to do is just get in here and take a look at this thing. Give it a good stir. Get some of that smoky flavor down in there. That was our first look at that brisket mac and cheese, looking real good. Now that's the only time we're going to stir that. What I'm going to do now is set my timer for 15 more minutes. But in the meantime, let's do one more thing. Now it's time to move on to our next step, which is going to be prepping the bacon and breadcrumb topping, and it's really easy. One quick thing, if you like what I'm doing here at Heat of the Drum, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, help out the channel. Even, give me an emoji down in the comments section, a fire symbol, a thumbs up. That would really help with the YouTube algorithm. So let me show you how to do this bacon. And remember what I said earlier, the first thing I did before I came out here today was cook off 1 pound of bacon. So let's get that out here on this cutting board. And what I'm going to do is just come in here, kind of chop this into 1/4 to 1/2 inch pieces. kind of like that. Then just add it into this bowl. To that, I'm going to add that brown panko that we made earlier. Now let's just give that all a mix. When you're done, it's going to look like that. Just hit the 45-minute mark. It's time to get our bacon crumble on top. Oh yeah. Starting to bubble and heat on through. That's what we want. Let's get in here and add this crumble. And use as much as you would want. There's plenty here. There's plenty here to make it just how you want to make it. And this is starting to look really good. Looking real good and starting to smell good. I'm going to give this 15 more minutes. I'll see you then. Just hit the 1 hour mark. Let's get the lid off and get a look. Oh yeah. Definitely getting some bubble action going around the outer edges. Liking that. I'm going to come in here with my ThermoPro Lightning. Let's get a temperature in the center right there. 175. So what I like to do is usually get between about 175 and 80 on this. I think we're going to go a few more minutes. I'd like to get up closer to that 180 and get this browned off a little bit more on top right there. So we're going to give that 10 more minutes. If you're interested in anything ThermoPro, check out my description. I'll have a 20% off link in there, and that'll help the channel out. See you in 10 minutes. End up letting it go 15 minutes. This is coming off. You can see that is bubbling through. This is coming off. Now I'm going to let this sit for 10 to 15 minutes, but I'm going to put some foil over the top of it. Just like that. And look at that, my friends. That is the final product. Now let's get some of this out. Come in here with my big old scooping spoon here. Look at that. Only one thing for me to do is get in here and get a bite of this brisket mac and cheese. Mm. Mm. Mm, nice and hot too. Mm. Let me get another bite and then I'll tell you how it really is. Mm. Oh yeah. That brisket is tender. Wow. There's a piece. Mm. But I tell you what, everything combined is really good. So if you got some extra leftover brisket, this is just an idea of what you can do with it. And I'll tell you what, the jalapeno just adds a little extra flavor in there. And you can use as much of that bacon panko crumble on top as you want. We made plenty. You could add even more to the top of your individual serving. But this is a meal in itself. You got brisket, you got bacon, little jalapeno, cheese, noodles. What's not to like? Oh yeah. Remember, you can do this too. Till I see you again the next time on Heat of the Drum. I'm definitely finishing this.